Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some of the world's biggest stars. And we have a man for you now who really is tremendous. Frank Marino has got this Divas show here at the LINQ, and it is stunning, it is brilliant, it is entertaining, it's loud, and he joins us now. How are you?
I'm great, and I just love that intro.
When I say he, well, I mean it's really she at the moment.
Yes, at the moment it's she. You know what? I spend 8 hours a day as a man, 8 hours a day as a woman, and 8 hours a day sleeping, so I'm completely divided equally.
Do you know what? I saw you first, and we first spoke, I think, 10 years ago, something like that. And there you were, I think, at the Riviera. And it was a nice show. It was a cute show. But since you've come here to the LINQ, it's enormous. I mean, the stage is big, the sets are big, the lighting's amazing, and the PA is really fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I left LINQ after 25 years at the Riviera, we opened Divas here at the brand new LINQ Hotel in Las Vegas. And now I'm the producer as well as the star of the show, so I wanted to make it fantastic. So I promised myself I would never rely on my laurels and always just keep adding. And, you know, if everything looks good, I don't care. I'll fix a prop or I'll add something, but it's always new. So we get so much repeat business that I just keep it going.
Do you know what's great as well? It's so slinky, this show, and let's face it, it could be a car crash because there's so many elements to it. You've worked really hard, haven't you, so that this all comes together and everything flows and it feels like a fast-paced show.
Yeah, you know what? I sort of feel like an ice skater where you go and practice and practice and practice just to have that hour-and-a-half performance just be spectacular when people come see the show. And I guess any show that looks effortless, when you finally watch it, you know they've put the work behind it.
And again, your costume changes are incredible. We should say you come on and do comedy in the beginnings, do stand-up, which is fantastic. It's hysterical. A little bit filthy, but we need that. It's a 10 o'clock show in Vegas, so that's fine. And it's sort of Joan Rivers that you pay tribute to and homage to. And, of course, we have lost a legend this year. She was fabulous.
It was just a shock for me because it shouldn't have happened, first of all. But it did, and we lost a legend, an icon, like you said. I was lucky enough to be invited to the funeral. And out of respect, I was going to take the Joan Rivers portion out. But Melissa herself said to me, if anybody would want you to continue, it's my mom. And so now instead of an impersonation of Joan Rivers, I tell the audience it's more of a tribute to her. And, you know, you get an applause when you say that. And people just adore her, so I'm so glad to be doing her.
She lived her life for a laugh, and that's certainly what you give this audience. And it was so great to see such a big crowd tonight. It's wonderful you're doing great business, and I think that's testament to your talent. There's a segment in the show when you talk about your achievements, and it is astonishing. Could you do that bit for us now? I mean, you're the longest-serving headliner in Las Vegas. You've been doing it 372 years. How long?
I'm doing it 29 years, will be 30, September 18. We've done over 25,000 shows because when we started, it was 3 shows a night for like 25 years. 10 million people have seen the show, and I've changed costumes because I changed 17 times a night, over 400,000 times. And I make a joke. I say, I think I've taken my clothes off more times than Lindsay Lohan.
What is it like being you? Because, I mean, you do live this strange life where one minute you are Frank and then the next minute you're this diva on stage and you're owning it and you're courageous. It must be odd sometimes when you look in the mirror because you are two very different people.
Yeah, it's really strange. You know, during the day, I'm me, and I do all my paperwork like anybody else, and I get everything ready for the show and any rehearsals. And then we come and you dress up like your favorite diva or superstar, and then you do the show. So it's like, you know, people treat you different ways too, being male and female. I could actually, you know, come out and say I get treated one way as a female and I get treated another way as a male. So I can say it's sometimes it's, you know, men have a better upper hand sometimes, but the women, you know, get treated spoiled more than the men would be.
Aside from the glamour and the frocks and all these wonderful costumes, you're an amazing comedian. Your timing is just splendid tonight. I mean, you did this opening routine. It's probably 20 minutes long, and it was flawless the way you did that. I wonder whether you ever get bored doing it, because 29 years doing a show is a long time.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the nicest thing you could say to me, because everybody does leave and say what beautiful gowns or what beautiful show, and it is, and the other people, I'm not talking me, I'm talking about the other cast members, but what's really hard for me is the comedy, and you know, there's so many comedians out there, and I'm just going to pat myself on the back. I am so much funnier than actually people who are comedians for a living, but I guess in a way I am a comedian. I just use the drag as a venue to make it different than Joe Schmo's, you know, regular comedy. So to be noticed, I'm in drag, but nobody ever says the comedy. They'll say the show was very funny, but they never say why.
But I mean, it's amazing, and you keep it so fresh, and I guess there's never two shows the same, because you'll see something in the news and it'll trigger a gag, and then you can stick that in, and people love that, don't they? They like to think this is their show, and when something happens, you can bring it to the stage.
Yeah, like Bruce Jenner now coming out, you know, changing his sex is definitely like payday for me, you know. I just bought a new house thanks to that, because I knew the money would be rolling in. But you asked earlier if I ever got bored, and I got to tell you, after we had 9/11 in America, and so many people got laid off from their jobs and started doing things they didn't like. So to be lucky enough to be in a job where I love doing what I do, I will never complain about it again, because I should just see what other people are going through. And it's not even a money thing. It's looked down upon sometimes, you know. So to be able to have the balls, and you have to have balls to do it, to get out there and actually do it and make a name for yourself. You know, it was really like vaudeville, you know, and we took it into Las Vegas, and it's the longest running show. So that alone just says something.
And the costumes, the frocks, I mean, they are splendid. We're stood here looking at this. What does this cost, and where do you get them made? You can't just buy it in Marks and Spencer's or somewhere like that, can you?
I'm lucky enough that the designer Bob Mackey, who actually works for Cher and Diana Ross and all those big stars, actually does a lot of my costumes. So they're spectacular, and they're expensive. They're like $10,000 to $15,000 a piece, and that's probably my biggest expense next to lipstick.
And we should say this show isn't all about you, although you are the star of it. You've got some amazing dancers in it, and you've also got these characters that come on and bring to life so many of our love stars, and you do it in an affectionate way. You're not mocking Lady Gaga or Tina Turner. You're just sort of accentuating their oddness, which, I mean, they are. Cher is a strange act.
Right. I always said, like you said the first time we talked, I was in LINQ. I took LINQ and I took Chippendales, mixed them into one, so I have beautiful male dancers, and I have the beautiful, amazing, talented casts that impersonate everything from, like you said, Lady Gaga to, I've got Katy Perry, I've got Rihanna, I've got Mariah Carey, I've got Cher, I've got, you know, depending on the day you come. And we do change it up all the time. So there's so many superstars that you get to see the soundtrack of your life. So when I look out, I see everything from prom kids to senior citizens, because there's something for everybody. And I did that on purpose, so that this would be a broad spectrum show that people would come in and see and come back again.
And what's fascinating is your crowd. I mean, there are old people, there are young people, there are gay people, there are butch straight men who just walked past me and said, "Oh, I told my wife about this." It's amazing how you have such a cross gender of people.
Yeah, you know, I always knew when we got here, people say, did you know you'd last that long? And I got to be honest, I did know, because what take me out of it, I just knew it was such a great show and concept that America would love it. And not even America, we get people from all over the world. You know, every night is Europe, Australia, you name it. And what I do like about our European audience is that they respect their elders, like the Diana Ross and the Cher and the, you know, people like that, and the Madonnas. They're getting up there, but they get more respect in Europe, where we always want the new thing. And we have Britney, you know, we have but you got to keep those. I keep a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and never do too much of only one thing.
I think you've timed it perfectly, this show. To see you shine as a comedian is wonderful in the beginning, and then to see the stars through the show that you introduce come on and have this great sound system as well, pump out these tunes, because it's a rock concert, this show.
That's what it is. Actually, it's just one big party. People go to other tribute shows, you see like 2 or 3 characters. We do 17 characters a night. And if there's somebody on that you don't particularly love, there'll be somebody next that you probably do love, because we just pick the best stars out there and we just do their most fun music. And, you know, everybody's tapping their foot and, you know, banging on the table, doing some table dancing, you know, and we have just as much fun as the audience does. And I guess that shows some nights.
And you do come amongst us. I mean, we can be part of the show if you're lucky.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, some of the characters come into the audience and people get to see them up close and still go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that's a man."
It is incredible, and you do pinch yourself sometimes. Congratulations on being you, and what an amazing career. I mean, 29 years in any job is remarkable, but to be doing it in Las Vegas particularly, even the biggest come and they go, don't they? It's a strange town, and you've seen it sort of evolve from this provincial, wonderful, historic thing of the Sinatras to this sort of multi-conglomerate business that it is now.
Yeah, I drive down the strip when I'm coming to work every day, and you see like names fall off marquees, and it's very sad because these are people you grew up with, you know. But it's a town that keeps changing, and if you don't change with the times, it's going to change without you. So you have to just be on it, and I can never rest on, you know, what I've done in the past. I have to just see what I'm doing in the future, and even if things are great, just start working on what we're going to do tomorrow. So it's a lot of work. Vegas is very fickle, and so far, knock on wood, we've survived it.
You're such a talent, and I recommend this show highly. Divas by Frank Marino is here at the LINQ. It's this new property. It's got the big wheel behind it, and go on that as well. It's extraordinary, that wheel, isn't it?
Yes, that high roller. Actually, I went on it once, but I have a big fear to be on it, and God forbid you have to use the restroom. You're going to have to jump out, and you got no other choice. So I did it the one time for my promo picture, but everybody loves it. They're having a great time on it, and that's the way you get to be noticed, because all I have to say is, like you just did, it's the big high roller Ferris wheel. You can't miss us.
And again, scale in Las Vegas. It doesn't look that big, but when you get on it, it really is enormous.
It is the best way to see the city. If you want to see the whole thing in one shot, you don't have to spend the money on those helicopters. This thing will take you high enough that you see it all.
Thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations on this amazing year. 30 years in show business is fantastic, and to do it here in Las Vegas is a true testament to your talent. Great to talk to you again.
Thank you. It was great being here.